Have you been asked for documents and you haven't had time to submit them? Here in this video, we're going to explain how to solve it. In principle, when a consulate or a foreigner's office requires documentation for an application that we have submitted, or they require additional documents, they normally give us 10 days to provide them. If we do not have time in these 10 days to provide the documentation, we have a couple of options. One option is to request an extension of the deadline. These 10 days that we have been given are working days, and an extension of the deadline would be 5 more working days. This is automatically granted, as long as we request it within the 10 days, that is, before the 10 days are up. It is always good to give a reason, although it is not necessary, but it is advisable to give a reason. We automatically ask for it, and we know that we have 5 more days by law. The reason that we can give is that we have been asked for it while travelling or being away, that we have had a family inconvenience. Any reason is enough. It is not necessary to present any documentation to justify it. Although we have it, it is fine. It may also be that we have some of the documents we have been asked for, and we are missing some other documents. What do we do in this case? We submit what we already have and ask for an extension of the deadline for the missing document. In another case, we do not have time to submit the required documents even with an extension of the deadline. For example, we may have requested it from an agency and we do not know how long the agency will take. In this case, when in doubt, what we can do is request a suspension of the deadline. In the case of a suspension of the deadline, it is advisable to provide a justification. And also, if a document that needs several stamps that passes through certain bodies and some bodies are late, we will at least try to present the document half done. In other words, to show that we have it. With certain stamps, the original is being processed and I don't know when it will be ready. Then I ask for a suspension of the deadline, and normally it is usually granted as long as there are logical or justifiable reasons, and always saying that the documents will be presented as soon as we have them. This is a second option. What happens if, despite all this, we do not submit the documentation? We do not have time. We have asked for an extension of the deadline, or we have not asked for it, and in the end, we do not have time to submit it. What happens is that as soon as we have it, we submit it. Why? Because there is already jurisprudence in the Spanish courts that says that if the body has not determined that the application submitted has been closed or rejected, and the document that we have submitted arrives, they have to take it into account. That's why it is important. It is important that even if we believe that we are out of time, we provide it because there is a chance that the application has not yet been rejected or archived. This is normal, as public bodies often take a long time, and more so lately because there is a lack of staff or there is an excess of work. So, you always have to submit the documents. I hope this has been useful, and above all, I would like to emphasize that you should count on an experienced professional when it comes to all your procedures, even if you think it is simple, because it is always a slightly complex subject, and you need to understand and know about it in order to be able to carry everything through to a successful conclusion. Best regards.